Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to our quarterly product rollout and review. We're now rolling out enhancements and announcing new products and partnerships on a quarterly basis, and each time we do so, we'll host a live webinar to walk you through everything to make sure you understand what they are, where they are, and how they can help you optimize how you operate. This quarter, our Q4 rollout includes some big improvements for safety, gives recruiting greater clarity around statuses, and makes marketing to drivers even easier than before. My name is Leah Kelly, and I'm here with Elizabeth Sontag and Catherine Bowling of our product marketing team, who will be walking you through all these agenda items today. But before I pass it over to these lovely ladies, I have a couple of housekeeping items. Please know that the webinar will be recorded and sent to you afterwards, so if you want to review it later or share it with somebody from your office, just wait 24 hours and you'll receive the recording in your inbox. And also, you can submit your questions anytime throughout the presentation, and you can do so using the text box under the questions section in your GoToWebinar panel on the right. And we'll get to those at the end of the webinar. So I believe Catherine's going to start us off today. Whenever you are ready.
All right. Thank you, Leah.
Yes.
Okay, so I am going to walk us through a couple of new items that we have added to your dashboard. The first that I'm going to start us off with is one of my favorite updates, actually, and that's going to be a new way to order with Craigslist in the job store. And so whenever you come into the job store and you select Craigslist, what you will notice is there's two different options here. This is what it started off with, which is just this day of the week selector, probably how you're used to seeing your Craigslist ordering. But if you come over to this calendar selector, this is going to give you some new flexibility to place an order with Craigslist. What this calendar selector is going to do is allow you to make same-day postings. So I could come in here, I could select just one day, Friday the 1st, if that were today's date, and that posting could go live that very same day. This calendar selector is also going to allow me to select specific dates that I want for this to post. So if I only need for this ad to run for about a week and a half, I can come in, select the dates for that, and place that order. That added flexibility means that I don't have to place an order to run for the full duration of a month if I don't need to. But because of this flexibility, it doesn't allow for you to go ahead and do that monthly auto reorder. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how this works. Place my order just like normal. Hit next, and my order would be off and submitted. The next fun thing that we've done here in the job store is we have added the ability to add on email campaigns to your job store order. Email campaigns help your ad spend make it a little bit more valuable by keeping those applicants engaged after they've submitted an application to you. So now with this added ability, an email will be sent out to those applicants, 4 of them over 7 days, to help keep them engaged. Whenever you come in and place your order, you'll have this little add-on up here. All you have to do is check that box to add it on. You have 3 different email templates that you can pick from, and you have an opportunity to preview those email templates just by clicking on this magnifying glass. It'll come in, it'll pull in your company's logo, all of the information, and you can see exactly how that will look in an applicant's inbox. All of these emails and any responses from an applicant will be logged in the communications view so that you can easily see any communication history between you and a candidate. We'll go ahead. All right. In addition, we've also added 2 brand new merchants to the job store, and we've added Expeditors Online and Better Thing powered by Monster. In addition to these 2 new merchants, we have one more that's coming soon. Class A drivers will be joining the job store soon, so keep an eye out for them as well. Another new thing that we've added is the ability for primary users to customize different colors for different statuses. You can access this by going to your settings, express controls, and down to the subject view. When you come down here, you'll notice I can make some different selections and help just pick some colors to help organize my dashboard. These colors are visible in a couple of different places. You'll see them in the work list results, as well as the status drop-down in the big white box that's available in the subject view. Primary users are also able to reorder statuses using these arrows over here on the right-hand side and clicking them to move things to whatever makes sense with your own internal processes. In addition, primaries now have control over when a subject will move into a reapply status. They can choose which statuses are going to move to reapply whenever a new app is received from a subject and which statuses will not. So for example, if I am working a subject and they are in the recruiting status, I probably don't want for them to move to a reapply status if they send in an update or something like that while I'm working with them. So I'll go over here to this status changes to reapply column and simply toggle this over to no. And now if I'm working an applicant and they're in a recruiting status, they will not move to reapply status whenever a new application is received. We've also given primaries the ability to decide if there are any tags that need to be unset whenever a subject moves to a reapply status. An example of this would be if a subject is moved to reapply, I want to go ahead and reset this orientation date, the employee number, and the hire date so that a new value can be entered for those tags. You will have a record of the previous tag values, and that's available under tagging in the subject view. Another great change that we've made is to the Focus tab. Now whenever you come into the Focus tab, you'll notice that it's a little bit more customizable and loads a little bit more quickly. We did some work to make it more efficient, and so what we've done is we've moved all of these from where you would scroll down to now they load across in different tabs. What this does is this allows you to customize what tabs are visible so you can see really what you're needing to. If there's something on here that you don't need to see daily, you can easily remove that from what's visible by clicking on these X's. And you can also add the tabs back in if you need to by clicking the Add button and then checking the box to bring these back. These are also able to be put into a different order simply by clicking on these cards and dragging them to reorder however you would like them. Whenever you X out, those tabs will be reordered. Another thing that we've done is we've made it simpler than ever to view the Documents tab. We took your feedback and we made a couple of different updates here. The first is that we've created some filters here to allow you to select different date ranges so that it's easier to find exactly what you're looking for. These preferences are sticky, meaning that when I come in and I make this 60-day selection, that 60-day selection is going to remain whenever I leave the screen and come back, and as I'm working through different drivers. We've also made these document sections and the year sections collapsible, so it's easier than ever to see exactly what it is you're looking for. We've also made it faster than ever to follow up on document notifications from the reminders box. Now, when you come up here and you click on a document reminder, it will take you directly to the Documents tab for that subject and will even highlight the document that's needing your attention. Some additional enhancements that we have made this quarter, you will remember last quarter we rolled out something new called Dashboard Email. We've made some additional enhancements here, and we are now supporting emojis in email messages. We've given you the ability to add custom signatures. We've also added functionality so that you can CC or carbon copy and blind carbon copy additional recipients onto your email message. And we've made some enhancements to the templates to give you a little bit more power over how you're contacting drivers.
Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit about some awards. So we did roll out awards earlier this year so that you guys were able to navigate a little easier through the dashboard. The idea with awards is to point out important things that have changed or that are in the system that you may not know are there. So when you go to awards now, what you'll see is there's a new badge called 10th Street Elements. And this is going to be all of the new awards that we have added. So when you scroll down, you'll see there's a stamp that says that they're new, but you can also click on 10th Street Elements and it will show you all of the new awards that you can achieve. And as you achieve those, your points will change in your odometer, and it will also do a check mark so that you know that you have completed that. One thing that is coming soon is going to be the ability to order employment verifications through a third party. So if you are completing employment verifications through 10th Street using Exchange today, soon we'll add a new option for any employment verifications that you may have that are not network or email or fax that you may not have the ability to send out. You'll have to call and get a fax number. You'll have the ability to reach out and send those over to a third-party provider that could complete those verifications for you and send those back into the system under Exchange. You'll notice that what will change is Assurant will be the first background screening company to sign up for this. This is coming soon, so it's not available today, but we'll have more providers to come soon, but Assurant was the first one that we signed up for. In addition to that, there are some changes to the Adverse Action Letter tool. So whenever you're using the Adverse Action Letter tool through us, some of the updates that changed were that you can print a cover page right from the tool. So when you go into the tool and you're looking for somebody that you need to mail out, you have the option now to print the full documents. This will print the cover page, any documents, and the state disclosures for you. You also have the option to change the next action date. So if you needed to push out so that the letters could be mailed later, then you can make an adjustment right within the tool. Adverse Action is also in the Compliance Center. So if you have not checked out the Compliance Center yet, make sure that you take a look in there. It's got some great information about how your account is configured. In the Compliance Center, you can also click on the Actions button, and this will be set so that it can email these reports to you. And you get to choose how often you would like to receive them, so you can go in and adjust. The next set of changes that we're going to talk through are going to be about DQF. So whenever you're a DQF client, we have updated the DQF view, so whenever you're managing it at a driver level instead of at a fleet level, you'll see that our DQF is here. And what we have is we have a list of our missing and expired documents as well as our compliant documents. In the past, you would have to go from your DQF view over to your documents to upload anything that you needed. Well, now it's interactive, so I can click on my CDL copy, and once I click on my CDL copy, I can drag and drop and upload right here. Once I put in my next action date and I save the document, it's going to show it as compliant. So I'm going to go ahead and put in a next action date. I'm also going to put in an expiration date. Save my document and close out of here. And just like that, it moves it down to compliant documents with the expiration date. So now DQF is a lot easier to use. Once you click on any of the documents below, you'll be able to open any attachments that are associated with that. And you can also adjust if you needed to change the expiration date or anything that follows with that. Also with the DQF tool, if you're a DQF client, you'll have a new option to go into your settings, and you can go into your express controls, and you have an option for safety. There's two new changes that appear here. One that you're going to see is your DQF settings. So now you have the power to choose whether you want your DQF file to look at either the latest expiration date, which is the default, or the last file that was uploaded. And you can determine which logic DQF uses, and so you have the power to do that. Another thing that you have the ability to do is you can assign safety users to drivers. So you can set up the relationship between drivers and any safety users that you may have. So as you navigate through this, you have the ability to name those roles. So you can name those a safety manager and maybe a driver manager. And once I name those roles, it's going to give me a list of all of the available users. So these are users that are set up in your system, and I can say that I am a safety user and Natalie is also a safety user. And when I scroll down, I can identify which are driver managers, which is going to be Bobby and Sally. From there, I can determine when it's appropriate to assign a safety user to a driver. And this is done based on the work list and the status. So you can set up your new assignment rules by clicking a button. It's going to give you a list of all of your available status. And so once I say they are hired, I'm going to click Next. It's going to show me all of the available work lists, and I'm going to say all company drivers, and they need to go to Elizabeth as well as Bobby. And then I'm going to save this rule. Once I save that rule, as soon as a driver is in the company driver work list and they are hired, it will then assign as a safety manager to Elizabeth and Bobby. I can also go backwards and I can assign any current drivers that were already in the system before this rule were set up so that they too will follow that rule and they will be assigned to those safety users. Now in the big white box, you're going to have two new drop downs. So in addition to what you have today for your recruiters or processors, you're also going to have a place where you can view who's assigned to you by safety. So when you come into your work list, you would be able to choose a different action for your safety team that would then switch out your assigned to and your processor to the appropriate safety person, as well as your driver manager. In addition to this, the big white box is going to change and it's going to remove social security number, information about the application, and so it's just going to be information that's available to the safety team. Your Actions button, it does include a print button now. So in the past, your print button was down in the bottom corner, but now it's under your Actions. So if you needed to print for any reason, you can. If you have a user that has access to both safety and recruiting, they can toggle the modes based on the Action button. So they could click on Actions and they would be able to switch back and forth between safety mode and recruiter mode. There is a preference that's also going to be available for those users. So when you go to your settings and you click on Preferences, in your user preferences, you'll be able to scroll down and you'll see when do you want to show safety mode. You have three options. You can select Always so that it's always on. You can also select Manual, so you can use the Actions button to toggle between safety and recruiting, or you can say On Selected Status. So I want to say that whenever a driver is in a hired status, I want it to be always on the safety mode. And you apply those preferences. Now remember, preferences are at a user level. So whenever a user makes a change, it only changes for that user specifically, and it doesn't change it for all of the users in the system. In addition to this, our clients that use DQF, there is going to be a new pulse mode for drivers. Once a driver is hired and they're in the DQF, when they log into Pulse, they will be directed to a different screen that would be focused on that company that has the driver hired. The Pulse screen will show you all information for the driver as far as they need to get documents over to you, or they may need to complete some task within the system to complete their DQF or onboarding documents. So once that driver is switched over, they'll be more focused on your company specifically, and they can see tasks that may need to be completed as a hired driver. In there, they'll also have the ability to tap on the safety member or the driver manager, or whatever the appropriate names are, to call or to message from the application right there to the appropriate person that they need. So there'll be a few changes for that. The safety tool is available today for any DQF clients. The Pulse portion is going to come shortly after. It's not live now. We wanted to make sure that people had the ability to go in and turn on their safety and use the configurations that they wanted to use for those. So with that being said, I think we're going to open it up for questions, see if anybody has any questions on what we've covered today.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, so here's a question we have. Will you be turning a file over from a Recruiter 1 and Recruiter 2 to someone in HR and safety?
So I think what they're asking is, does it still stay assigned to the recruiter? So like if a driver is assigned to a recruiter and a processor, these are additional drop downs. So it will still stay assigned to the recruiter and the processor. That will not change. These are just going to be 2 additional drop downs so that you can actually have 4 people assigned, 2 safety members, and then 2 out of the recruiting department.
Great. Okay. Does the email encourage the applicant to complete a full IA, a full Intel app?
Yes. So through the job store, the call to action on those emails that goes out is a button that says click here to apply. So it will encourage them to complete a full application. And if they do complete a full application, it will stop sending the emails if they complete it within the 7 days.
Okay. Here's somebody asking about the bubble. What do the bubbles in the work list next to the applicants mean?
So the bubbles in the work list, these new bubbles, those are the colors that you select. So whenever you go into the status tool and you select the different colors to organize the work list, that's just a quick way to draw your eye to any colors that organize your work list. So these colors match what you'll see in your status dropdown.
Okay, let's see. Does anyone else have any questions? We're waiting for a few more. Are the colors per user or are they a company-wide setting?
So the colors are a company-wide setting. Primary users that have access to change anything from settings. In the Express controls, the controls are always changed at a company level, so anything that you may change in your controls, that is across your company. However, anything that a user changes in your preferences, which is a separate section, that is just at a that is just at a user level, not a company level. I apologize.
And can you show them one more time where that's at?
The controls?
Yes, please.
Yes. So you're going to click on your name and click on settings. And once you get to settings, you'll have access to your controls. So you can click on Express controls, which will extend, and it will expand, and it will show you all of your different options that you have. Same with Exchange and Pulse. And primary users will have access to these controls. All other users will just see their preferences.
Can you add a color? We knew that question was coming.
We knew that question was coming. So today, the questions are the questions. The colors are static. They are standard colors that are in that list. But if you have a color that you need, you can always reach out to us and we can see if we can adjust.
Okay. We have a couple enhancement requests that we can save for a little bit later after the webinar. Any questions? Okay, on the new VOE, verification of employment with the third party, will 10th Street be able to show which previous employer is in the network so that we can decide if we need to go with the third party, or how will that?
Yes, so it will be ordered. Again, this is not completely done yet. This is coming soon, but it will all be done through Exchange. So whenever you're working through your employment verifications and you see that one's a network, you can go ahead and fire that off, or you can use the automation to go ahead and send that off. That's something that we rolled out previously this year, where you could, based on a status change, you could automatically request an employment verification. So you can set that up so that phone, fax, and email, those always go out with the automation. And then with what's left, you'll be able to see what hasn't been ordered, and you can make that decision to say, do I want to send this off to a third party, or do I want to manually send it out? So you have total control of that.
Okay. Okay, while we're waiting for a few more questions to come in, I did want to let you guys know that I uploaded a handout under the handout section that you can download, which is basically just the email that was sent out on Wednesday that you should have received. It's just kind of compiled those changes in a summary form in a PDF form called 10th Street Q4 Rollout and Review, just for easy reference. Just wanted to make sure everybody saw that, so you can download that before we jump off this call. Okay. Is there a cost associated with the third-party VOEs?
It's still in beta, so you would probably have costs that were associated maybe with the third party that you used, but I don't think there would be any additional cost on the 10th Street side.
Okay.
I do have one more thing to add. A lot of the things that we've changed have been suggestions from our clients, so we love to hear from you guys. If you have anything that you would like to suggest or send our way, just reach out to your account managers and let them know, and they pass those on. And we take your input seriously, and we do kind of we do decide what we're going to change in the system based on your suggestions. So we love them. Please send them our way.
Yes, please do. And the ones that you already have sent in that I'm not asking, I'll just save those for after the webinar so I can talk more with the product about it, and then we'll get back with you as well. So if you didn't hear your question, I'm probably considering an enhancement request, so that's why I'm not asking it right now. Kim Taken is the best. For sure she is. She got a shout out. Okay. And that's about it. I'm going to wrap it up, you guys. Thank you so very much for joining us and taking some time out from your day for us. We really appreciate it. And like Elizabeth said, we do value your feedback. So let us know of any enhancements or any ideas that you have. We do take them seriously. Any other future webinars, make sure you go to the events page under the About tab on the website. You can sign up for future webinars there. You can also find access to all of our old webinars on our YouTube channel, 10th Street LLC. All of our webinars from the past are uploaded there. And that's about it.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.